So you know the ones when you're listening to a song that you really like and you're like, that's my tune.
That's my tune.
Hey, this is Jojo B and this is the second episode of That's My Tune. Thank you for tuning in. In this episode, I'll be talking to one of my artist friends, Davinah, about her song Queenship. I like the song because of the lyrics, very uplifting, very encouraging, but more so because of the beat. It just makes you want to click your fingers and just bop, you know, it's just da-na-na-na, hey, 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 hey. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I selected this song. So I'm going to let the song play. Once it's over, we'll be talking to the woman herself, talking about the process of writing the song, her life as an artist, and so much more. So kick back, relax, and enjoy. So everyone, I'd like to introduce you to my friend and artist, Davinah. Let's give her a round of applause.
Hey.
So thanks for joining us on That's My Tune.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, no problem at all. I can't do a podcast like this and not invite you.
Thank you.
So tell us a bit about yourself in terms of being an artist and who you are as a person. You know, tell us as much as you'd like.
Okay. So my name is Davinah. As a singer, I'm a singer. I'm a mum of four.
Wow.
I'm a very busy lady, as you can imagine, like mumming and being an artist.
Mm-hmm.
But I use my music as a way to talk to the audience, my audience, and hopefully as many people as I can reach about the realities that we go through in life.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it's okay to have these struggles, it's okay to talk about them. Like, let's normalize having these conversations of difficulty and, you know, sharing our problems and just uplifting each other in the difficult times, because it is difficult to be a parent in the Western world. It's difficult to be a single parent. It's difficult to be a single Black parent. And it's difficult to be an artist while doing all of those things. So, you know, I just feel like I use what I love doing as a way to let people know that you're not going through these things by yourself. Like, there's someone else out there that has got your same struggle, your same skin tone, your same, you know, your everything that you're dealing with. You're not by yourself. And that I use my music to kind of express and convey. And I hope I get the message across.
I'm sure you have. That's lovely to hear. How long have you been an artist for? How long have you been singing for?
Okay, so I was one of those kids that came out the womb singing.
Them ones.
Yeah, I've been extra from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's time around me, you know, I'm extra, but you know, I encourage you to be who you are.
Yeah.
But I was one of those kids that came out and the scream. My nurse was actually called Davinah as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I came out like screaming, and it was like, this one's a singer, absolutely a singer. Like the apparently the pitch was like hurting people's ears.
Yeah.
So I've been able to sing as long as I can remember. Definitely gifted with a voice, because it was something that I always had without any kind of training. And then I went into training at a later date.
Okay.
I started getting into the studio and recording music when I was about 14 or 15.
Okay.
Signed to a record label in my early 20s.
Nice.
And working with a record label presently as well.
Nice.
So it's just always something, even if I haven't been on a stage singing, like everybody that knows me like, you know, I'm humming to songs or just always singing something. And as time has gone on, I've taught myself piano to, like, you know, make music and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just always been something that's always been. But my mum was a vocalist as well, so it's it's always been there. It's always been there.
So it's in the blood, like.
Yeah, basically, like, you're not really nothing if you sing in my family, because everybody does, you know. Like, oh, Davinah sings. Yeah, so does everyone else, babes. Whatever.
I hear that, man. I hear that. So let's talk about your song Queenship. What inspired you to write that song?
Queenship was actually inspired by my own experience. So I had I went through, and I talk about this quite openly, I went through an abusive relationship, but it wasn't one where, you know, punch and kick and that. It was like the abuses that people don't really talk about or identify, which is like narcissistic abuse and emotional abuse, that kind of stuff that really leaves you in a place of just not knowing who you are and you know, feeling like you're in a dark hole you can't climb out of. And Queenship came about whilst I was kind of sitting in this hole metaphorically, but understood actually I wasn't buried, I was planted. So I've just got to literally sit in this pain and feel my way through it until it leaves, and then I can grow and bloom. And so the first line of, you know, Queenship, thinking on the ways I used to lose myself, it was that progress. Like, I'm looking back and saying like, wow, I found me, and I found a new and improved version of me. And now I want to make sure that in these moments where people might be sitting down in these holes and not speaking, not knowing how to express themselves, I want you to know that I'm still here rooting for you. I'm lifting you up. And I want you to know that, like, I'm here for you. I've got you. Like, I know what it is to be in a situation where you just don't even know which way is up. You barely even know your own name. And so Queenship was, you know, the message was, you know, it doesn't matter what we're going through. Stick with your girls, or stick with the people that love you and support you. Like, those people that are trying to put you down, like, remove yourself as far away from those people as possible, and just place yourself around people who's going to be, sisters. If they're not on that, leave them alone. Go away from them, you know. Like, leave them.
Wow,
So that's what Queenship was about.
Wow, I feel empowered just hearing that. That's fantastic. What was the process in terms of like putting the beat together, like the studio sessions and that kind of thing?
Okay, so the song was produced by Hypertone.
Okay.
If y'all don't know Hypertone, I mean, are you even alive? What's going on? And I've worked with Hypertone since my early 20s. We worked on music like when I was signed to a record label.
Okay.
And one of the songs that he did when it was first released, Runaway, went to like #1 on One Extra and Choice FM. Like, it went really, really well. So we've been working together for a long time, and he just really understands like my vocal. Imagine I got in the studio with him after so long of not working, and he was able to hit one of my riffs still, like, and he's like, oh, that sounds like something you do, D. Okay, how about let me sing? How about that? Nice. How about let me sing on my own tracks? Like, but it was produced by him, and it was written by my friend Misha, actually. She goes by Ione, but her artist name is Ione, but obviously we're friends, so I know her as Misha. And at the time, I was still coming out of this really funky place of not knowing myself and not knowing who I am and my strengths, and just losing myself. So I wasn't confident about writing. So I came to her with this idea, like, listen, I've got this track. This is the message that I want to convey. And I just wrote down a whole bunch of things that I just wanted to say in this track, and she just took it and made a song.
Oh, wow.
So it was amazing. It was like, she came round, we had a couple of drinks, talk our little diva talk, as we do tours and this, that. And this was just before the House and Garage Orchestra tour.
Nice.
So we literally just, like, she came round, we had a few drinks. I was like, this is what I want to say. These are the licks that I want to do. These are the harmonies that I want to include. And she was like, babes, I've got you.
That is fantastic.
Wrote the song, and I got in the studio with Hypertone, and it was just like being back in the day working again. Because as I said, like, he knows my vocal. We're very close. Like, our families know each other. You know, we know each other like at a time where we didn't have kids, and now we've got children. Hypertone's married now. So it's like, we've come such a long journey. And to be able to get back in the studio with him and it feel like just like old times, it was such a great experience. For my first experience in such a long time of being out of music because of these horrible relationships, it was just like, it was that glory moment, like, okay, oh, she's back. Oh, 2020, I'm coming to snatch everything because I'm back.
She'll give her socials later, but when you see her socials, you wouldn't think that Davinah has children. Put it that way.
Oh, thank you.
You would not. But I say this to you all the time, fam. Like, I know you put in her work, but seriously, like, you wouldn't think she has children, honestly. But speaking of your children, how do you manage to balance your career? Because you mentioned that you went on tour, did the House and Garage tour, obviously that to stop with COVID and everything else, but balancing having children and being able to travel to go on tour, do your studio sessions and that, how do you manage?
Well, do you know what? This is a conversation that I've had with a lot of my girls. Females have this thing where we're very proud, or we have this thing of we shouldn't have to ask for the things that we want.
Right.
Us run all of that. State your intentions and speak, babes. Speak. Use that throat chakra, that blue one, open it all the way up and speak. Because in not doing so, you're putting yourself in a position where you could have more opportunity, but you're blocking it. So the situation that I have is I homeschool my babies.
Right.
And on a Thursday evening, they go over to their father for the remaining of the week, and he homeschools on Fridays and has them every weekend. Because my belief is, just because we're not together, it doesn't mean that the parenting then becomes unequal. Like,
Mm.
you gave me children because you wanted children.
Right.
We are going to parent these children. I'm not going to wait for you to offer me anything. I'm not going to say, oh, you know, I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to. But here's how it's going to go, babes.
Right.
You know? And because we have that agreement of co-parenting rather than, you know, every other weekend, because me personally, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
I can't do every other school run and change every other nappy and every other bedtime story.
Yeah.
For as long as they're in my presence, I have to do it.
Yeah.
And I just believe that if you have children, whether you are with the partner or not, you
Yeah.
need to co-parent and make that equal. Like,
Right.
those scales need to be equal. So I'm very blessed in the way that, you know, I spoke my truth. I spoke very strongly about how I felt. There was a lot of, you know, I'm going to say negotiation, quote unquote, but it wasn't really.
I can just imagine it.
It was like, this is what it is, or this is what it is.
Yeah.
And he's agreed to it. And, you know, as much as we didn't get along in a relationship, he's a very great, you know, he's a great father.
Right.
You know, they love being with their dad as often as they love being with him more than me, if I'm honest.
Okay.
Which is fine. That's okay. You're allowed to love your daddy. It's fine. It's all right. It's okay. But in that, you know, I'm able to do a lot more. And the thing is, he's an actor. So he's able to do what he needs to do as well, because I just feel like, you know, just because you're parents, it doesn't mean that your children's lives should suffer because of your career, but your career shouldn't suffer because of your children.
Yeah.
Really find a way to balance it out so that everybody gets what they need for themselves, because it enables you to be a better parent. So in this way, half the week they're with me, he gets to go and do his acting, as many auditions as he wants to hit. And, you know, we do have the odd weekend where he's like, oh, do you know what? I've got to fly out, but, you know, I'll have them, you know, an extra couple of days next week. Okay, no problem. Or, you know, I've got to go and do the House and Garage Orchestra. Okay, I've got to work, but I'll ask my mum and then I'll pick. Do you know what I mean? Like, we negotiate a lot of things. And because there's a mutual respect of each other's careers and the things that we want for ourselves, and able to, you know, in order to better ourselves for our children, we're both able to have our careers. It's difficult, but, you know, we're both able to do what we love, and it just makes us happier, which makes our children happier.
I have learned. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, don't wait on nobody. I hear so many women, I shouldn't have to ask for this. I shouldn't. Well, you shouldn't, babes. That's absolutely true, but it's not going to stop me from asking.
Right.
And if I ask too many times, I'm gonna start telling, babes.
Yeah, but ask too many times, I'm gonna tell you. Once it gets to telling, that's it.
Why? Like, a lot of the time when we go through things, we have to really check ourselves and be like, okay, am I being an enemy of my own progress by being prideful? Let it go, man.
Yeah. Wow, I've learned so much. I mean, I love how you even admitted that, okay, you're and your children's father, you didn't get along in a relationship, but you've learned to co-parent and get along as even though you're not together, you've learned to get along for the children's sake and for the sake of your career, so nobody is suffering. And I think that's a very, very that is fantastic, and big respect to the both of you, honestly.
Oh, thank you. I just feel like it's necessary, you know, when we get resentful, or when we feel like, you know, quite annoyed or frustrated towards a person, you really got to check the energy that you're giving. Like, you can't do anything about anybody else. But one thing that I've learned is that when you change the way you do things, everything around you starts to change. And what I've learned to do is, rather than operate from a place of fear, which is what I used to do, which is what these relationships did to me, I now operate from a place of power.
Right.
And in doing that, it empowers the people around you, even the people that you don't necessarily get along with. But if they feel empowered by what you're doing and how you're moving and what you're saying, you get a peaceful life, because then, you know, he doesn't have to miss out on anything. You can go and date. You've got time to take your girlfriend out. You've got time to go and do acting. You've got half a week solely for yourself to do whatever you want. And then we swap. And then I've got, you know, I can go out, I can date, I can go out to eat, I can check my girls. We both get a freedom. And I feel like that's what parenting should be about. It shouldn't be about, you know, everybody has to stop doing what they're doing and doing what they love. That's how you get resentful. You resent your kids. You start feeling resentful for your life.
Yes.
Make sure they're good, but make sure you're good as well.
Yes. I totally, utterly agree with you. I do. Speaking of your children, how do they feel about your career? Do they love their mummy on stage? And, you know, do they encourage you? Do any of your children want to get into music as well, or acting?
Well, all of my children sing. which is crazy. Like all of them, from the oldest, like my eldest, like his voice when he talks, that bass just rattles through your chest.
Jeez.
But I'm telling you, but if you hear some of these high notes he can hit, yeah, and his falsettos are cleaner than mine. I'm like, yo, my G.
Yeah.
How?
He's
How?
learning from the best, isn't it?
Yeah, but he don't sing like I sing. I'm in the babes. I'm in the shower doing my riffs and my runs and working on my warm-ups and the bits of my voice that aren't necessarily developed, stretching my vocals. Yeah. This guy just comes from work and just starts hitting falsettos like he's been doing it from birth. I'm like, yo, my driller, how? I'm gonna need that back, yeah? Because certain times I have a bit of a struggle, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need that falsetto back because it was clean when I was pregnant with you. Okay.
You are hilarious.
Yeah, so all of my babies sing, but you know what? My eldest, like, he's really proud. He's at an age where he's able to really comprehend the work that goes in. Yeah. And he's really, really proud. He's always like, "Raw, mum, is that you? Yeah, is that how you're moving? What, you trying to blow up on us? Yeah, don't forget, man." I'm just like, "Are you an idiot?" And my younger children, they're still trying to work out how they go onto YouTube and they see mummy's page and they're like, "But I was in that video. Mummy's on TV. So how are you on TV and you're sitting next to me?" But they're like, they're younger, but they're really in awe. But they're really supportive. They love to see me when I'm doing my stuff. They love to see me on stage. They love to see me interacting when I get into, like, you know, artist mode. Right. They're really enjoying it, and they you know, they get to walk around and be like, "Yeah, that's my mum. My mum's a singer. Go on YouTube, you can find my mum." So yeah, they really love it. Like, they're really cool with it. And as I said, you know, they all sing themselves. They've all got and they could actually form a quartet because they've all got such different voices, but they gel together so well. So yeah, it's really sweet.
Oh, that's beautiful. This has been such a good conversation. I've really learned a lot from you, and yeah, just more power to you. I know that recently you dropped another tune. Tell us quickly about that.
Thinking About Me was written like such a long time ago, but it was just one of my favorites. And I found that when I came back into music, because I came back in 2018, I've been missing from the music scene since like early, you know, 2000, like late 2000s. Right. And so I came back in with Runaway, started performing. I was just performing like my old stuff, which was Runaway and Thinking About Me. And Thinking About Me just always got a response. Like, I perform it once. Yeah. And people be coming up to me and singing the chorus like, "Yes, babes, that tune's a vibe." Yeah. And I'm surrounded by a lot of singers. Like, two of my close friends are singers. They're godmother to, you know, one of my children. And so I really trust their judgment. And they're like, "No, seriously, Dee, this is a banger. Like, you need to release it." So I dropped Thinking About Me. We did like a music video. And again, it was, you know, surrounded by, you know, just a lot of Black queens. I really wanted to uplift, and I wanted to have an image of, you know, loads of Black women being able to be in one room. Yeah. And it wasn't the narrative of what they show us on mainstream media, you know, just, you know, we're fighting and snatching each other's wigs off. And no, like, actually all the girls there were natural. How about that? Yeah. You know, we had some afros, we had some twist out, we had some dreads. That's it. We had some wigs, we had some braids, we had some blondes, we had some browns, we had some chocolate mahogany honeys, you had some caramel honeys, you had some short honeys, some tall honeys. I'm like, listen, let me tell you something. When the girls turned up for that final scene in Thinking About Me, the guys that were shooting it kept on getting the shots wrong because they were just like, "There's so much beauty in this." Like, "Okay, wait, start again. I was like, "Yo, I've been filming all day and it's hot and I'm tired." They're like, "Action. Okay, let's get it, girls." Wow. They were just such in awe, and it was like, this is such a powerful scene because we just never see this. Yeah. And you know, it was a lot of my idea. It was actually supposed to be a short movie, but so many things went wrong. Right. But you know, it's kind of let me know that, okay, I discovered that I can script write and I can direct videos. So, you know, more stuff coming later on next year. Okay. But yeah, Thinking About Me is like, it's a really fun song. So the song came about in my earlier days when I was writing, and I was just really feisty and unruly. Yeah. So I was going out with this guy, and you know, we ended up breaking up, and you know, literally like 2.5 seconds later, he was in another relationship, and I was like, "Yo, did you even really care about me?" But then I noticed that every time I'd see him, "Oh, you breaking your neck to look at me?" Them ones. You know, them ones there, like, "You're with her, but I see you thinking about me." Okay, babes. So, yeah, that was the first line. "I see the way that you watch me whenever you're near me." You know, all of that kind of stuff. And, "Although you're with her, although you're thinking about me." That's kind of where it came from. That was what I wrote it based off of, like, oh, So the illusion is you're in a new relationship, but does she
Yeah.
know that you break your neck to watch and see what's going on?
Mm.
Do you know? Does she know that as soon as she turns her back, this is what you're doing? But what I wanted to convey in the video is I'm not entertaining that. While you're out here trying to do that nonsense, I'm gonna be here partying with my queens. I ain't got time for that nonsense. So yeah, thinking about me was like it was a lot of fun. It was a great project, and it's crazy how people still love it today. And that song's like 12, 13 years old. Yeah.
Love it. Okay,
Yeah.
nice. So where can people follow you on socials? Are you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? Where can we hit you up?
You know what? I'm really bad for like social media. I don't really do it. Like I do Instagram. It's Davinah Music. It's Davinah Music, one word. And my Snapchat is the same. I don't really do Facebook too often.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I'm just at the point where I'm just like, I mean,
everyone has their favorite social. So Instagram and Snapchat is fine as long as we can find you on at least one.
Yeah, but all rounds. Like when I do finally get onto Twitter sometime in this lifetime, it will be Davinah Music. It will be Davinah Music all the way around.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Davinah, it's been lovely chatting with you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been great.
You're welcome. Well, you have a good rest of the day, yeah?
And you.
All right. Bye.
Thank you, darling. Bye.
That conversation was so hilarious, entertaining, and eye-opening. Thank you, Davinah. And that is the end of episode 2. You can follow me on Twitter, Ms. JoJoB, MZJOJOB. And you can also follow the podcast, That's My Tune Pod, on Twitter. That's My Tune Podcast on Instagram. And you can also email that'smytunepodcast@gmail.com. See you episode 3. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.